A black man rushed through the busy streets of New York, hoping to make it to the most important interview of his life. But when he saw a frightened woman stranded in the rain, he made a choice that would change everything. He missed the interview, lost his chance, and walked home, soaked and disappointed, not knowing the truth. The woman he helped was the CEO of the very company he was trying to work for, and what she did next would shake the whole city. The rain came down hard over Manhattan, the kind of rain that made people rush from one building to another without looking at anyone. On Madison Avenue, Marcus Perry held his small umbrella tight, trying to protect his old portfolio from the water. His shirt was already getting wet, and the wind kept pushing the rain under the umbrella, but he kept walking with hope in his chest. Marcus had an interview that could change everything. After years of doing small freelance graphic design jobs and barely making enough to pay rent, today was his chance to get a real job at Reyes Creative Group, one of the biggest companies in New York City. He needed this job, not only for money, but for stability, for a fresh start, for something he could finally be proud of. He whispered to himself as he walked, "Arrive early, stay calm, speak clearly," repeating the words his late father always told him. His father had been a simple man with a big heart, a man who believed in kindness, no matter who needed it or when it came. Those lessons stayed with Marcus through every struggle in his life. When Marcus reached the corner near the tall glass building that carried the Reyes name, he checked his watch. He was on time, maybe even a little early, just the way he planned. But then he heard something that made him stop. A voice, faint but full of fear, came through the sound of rain and honking cars. "Somebody please, help me please." Marcus turned his head and saw a black luxury car stopped right in the middle of the intersection. The hazard lights blinked fast, and cars around it honked loudly. Drivers rolled down their windows to yell, some shouting for the woman to move her car, others complaining about being late. Inside the car, Marcus saw a woman in a business suit, her hair wet and her hands shaking as she tried to start the engine. She looked stressed, scared, and confused. She tried calling someone on her phone, but the more she tried, the more frustrated she became. Marcus paused. His interview was minutes away. His clothes were getting soaked. His papers were already getting damp. Helping her would make him late, and he knew what being late could cost him. But his father's voice echoed in his mind, the same voice he grew up listening to. "If someone needs help, you help, even if the world is busy around you." Marcus closed his umbrella, took a breath, and stepped into the street. He walked up to the passenger side and tapped on the glass. "Ma'am, are you okay? Do you need help?" he said, trying to keep his voice steady. The woman turned to him with a look of pure relief. She quickly rolled down the window. "Yes, please help me." The car stopped suddenly. "And I have an important meeting. I don't know what to do." "Let me see under the hood," Marcus said gently. "Maybe it is something small." Rain poured on him as he lifted the hood, and steam rose into the air. He checked the battery, the cables, and listened as she tried again to start the engine. He could feel water running down his back, his clothes sticking to him, and the cold settling into his bones. But he kept going. He ignored the angry drivers around them and focused on the cables in his hands. "Try now," he said loudly. The engine coughed once, then roared to life. The woman covered her mouth with both hands, her eyes shining with relief. "Oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much," she said. "How can I thank you? What do you want? I can pay you." Marcus looked at his watch. He was soaked, covered in grease, and already late. "Just help someone else one day," he said softly. "That is enough for me." She blinked, surprised by his kindness. "You saved me today. Thank you more than you know," she said before driving off with grateful waves. Marcus stood alone in the rain, breathing heavily. His shirt was ruined, his tie was soaked, and his portfolio was wet. He looked nothing like someone going for a professional interview. Still, he went inside Reyes Tower. He had nothing else to lose now. The receptionist looked at him with surprise. "I'm here for a 9 o'clock interview with Camila Reyes," he said, wiping water from his face. "I look like this because there was an emergency." The receptionist spoke slowly. "Sir, Miss Reyes canceled all interviews today. Something urgent came up. You will be contacted to reschedule." Marcus stood still for a moment. The hope he carried felt like it was slipping away. He had sacrificed everything to help a stranger, and now the chance he needed was gone. But instead of anger, a strange calm filled his heart. He did the right thing, even if no one would reward him for it. He walked back outside into the rain and whispered to himself, "At least someone made it to their meeting today." Later that night, Marcus sat in his small apartment in Harlem, eating a cheap meal while looking at his wrinkled, wet papers. His friend Terry came over and tried to cheer him up, but Marcus only smiled and shook his head. His mind kept going back to the woman in the car, her voice, her relief, the way her face lit up when the engine started. She felt familiar somehow, even though he did not know her name. He did not know she was Camila Reyes, the CEO of the very company he was trying to join. He did not know she had reached her meeting on time because of him. And he did not know that this one choice, made in the rain, was about to change his entire life. 3 days passed, and the rain in Manhattan had already been replaced by warm sunlight, but Marcus Perry still felt like a cloud was sitting over his life. He woke up every morning hoping for an email from Reyes Creative Group about a rescheduled interview, but nothing came. Instead, he kept doing small design jobs from his cramped Harlem apartment, trying to stay positive even when the money barely covered groceries. On Thursday morning, his friend Terry stopped by with 2 cups of cheap coffee. Terry pushed the door open with his shoulder and dropped his backpack on the old sofa. "Man, you look like you haven't slept," Terry said, handing him a cup. "I'm all right," Marcus replied, though his tired eyes told a different story. "You're not all right. You're stressed. And for what? For helping somebody who left you standing in the rain with a ruined shirt," Terry said, shaking his head. Marcus let out a small laugh. "I didn't help her to get anything back. She needed help. I just did what I could." "That's your problem, Marcus. You're too good. Good doesn't pay rent." Marcus didn't argue, but deep inside, he knew he would do the same thing again. His father had taught him that character mattered more than comfort, and that helping someone in trouble was never a waste. That evening, his mother Angela called from Newark. She checked on him every week, always asking the same questions. "Marcus, honey, are you eating well? Are you sleeping enough? How is work going?" "It's going, Mom," he said softly. "Going is not an answer. Talk to me. I'm trying to get something steady, just waiting for a reply." "Well, I'll pray on it," she said. "God sees the good you do. It will come back to you." After the call, Marcus sat at his desk and worked on a logo design for a small restaurant. As he adjusted the colors and shapes, he found his mind drifting back to the woman from the rain. He had helped many people before, but something about her voice and her expression stayed with him. He didn't even know her name, but her face kept flashing in his memory. To clear his mind, he decided to work outside the next day. Manhattan was full of noise and life, and sometimes sitting in a park helped him think better. On Friday afternoon, Marcus found a spot in Bryant Park. He set up his laptop, pulled out his sketchbook, and started drawing ideas for a client. The sun felt good on his skin. The soft breeze made him relax, and for the first time all week, he felt a bit of peace. He was bending over a sketch when he heard a familiar voice. "Excuse me, do you know if there's a good coffee shop around here? I have a meeting soon, and I could really use a cup." Marcus looked up, and his heart stopped for a moment. It was her, the woman from the rain. She stood in front of him, dressed in a clean navy blue suit, hair neatly tied back, looking a bit rushed, but still calm. She held her phone in one hand and a notebook in the other. "Wait," she said, her eyes widening. "You're the man from that day. The man who helped me with my car." Marcus stood up, shocked and unsure what to say. "Yes, it's me. I'm glad you got where you needed to go." Her face lit up with a smile that made his chest feel warm. "I can't believe this. I've been wanting to thank you again. You saved me that morning. That meeting was important." "I'm glad it worked out," Marcus said. "There's a great coffee shop 2 blocks down I can show you." "Actually," she said softly. "Would you like to join me? It's the least I can do." Marcus hesitated. He didn't have much money, and he wasn't dressed in anything fancy, but he nodded. "Sure, I'd like that. Inside the coffee shop, they sat across from each other. She ordered a latte, he ordered a simple black coffee. I never got your name, she said. I'm Marcus Perry, he said. And you? I'm Camila, she answered without giving her last name. Just Camila. They talked for almost an hour. Camila asked about his design work, and Marcus explained how he loved turning people's ideas into visuals. She listened closely, not pretending, not rushing. She asked questions about his work, his passion, his struggles. What made you help me that day? She asked quietly. Because you needed help, Marcus replied. It didn't matter who you were or where you were going. You looked scared. I would want someone to help my mother or my sister if they were stuck like that. Camila looked at him with soft eyes. You have a good heart, Marcus. Not many people would leave their own plans to help a stranger. Her words touched him more than he expected. He was used to being ignored, judged, or overlooked, especially in professional spaces. But Camila spoke to him like he was someone important. When she checked her watch and realized she had to leave for her meeting, she gave him a grateful smile. I hope we run into each other again, she said. I really enjoyed talking with you. Marcus watched her walk away, feeling something he couldn't explain. Her presence stayed with him long after she left. The next week, Marcus returned to his routine. Money was still tight, bills were still waiting, clients were still scarce, and yet something inside him had shifted. He found himself thinking about Camila more than he wanted to admit. Her kindness, her voice, the way she had listened to him, the way she looked at him like he mattered. One afternoon, while working at a small coffee shop in Harlem, Marcus heard a bit of frustration near the entrance. Sir, I really need my order remade. I have a meeting soon, a familiar voice complained politely. He looked up. It was Camila again. She stood with several shopping bags at her feet, tired and overwhelmed from juggling things. The delivery driver shrugged and walked away, leaving her confused. Camila, Marcus called out, walking over. Is everything all right? She sighed in relief. Marcus, thank God. My lunch order got mixed up, and I haven't eaten. I have a presentation in less than an hour. I can grab something for you, Marcus offered. There's a deli across the street. Would you really do that? She asked, eyes soft. I'll pay you back. You don't have to pay me back, he said. Give me 5 minutes. He hurried across the street, bought her a sandwich and coffee with his last $20, and brought it back. She ate quickly, grateful and touched. You're unbelievable, she said. You've helped me twice now. Marcus shrugged. You look like someone who works hard. Hard-working people deserve a little help sometimes. As she prepared for her presentation, he noticed her papers. They were filled with charts, notes, and plans. Looks serious, he said. It is, she answered. This presentation could shape the next few years of my company. Company. She said it with weight, like it was big. But Marcus didn't ask questions. He respected her boundaries. When she left, she touched his hand lightly. I don't know how to thank you, she said. You always show up at the right time. Marcus smiled. Good luck out there. That night, Marcus ate ramen noodles while trying to stretch his money until the end of the month. He wondered why someone as elegant, confident, and successful as Camila kept crossing paths with someone like him. He didn't know that fate was arranging something bigger than both of them. And he didn't know that Camila was carrying a truth that would soon turn his whole world upside down. Chapter 3. 2 weeks passed after the day Marcus helped Camila with her mixed-up lunch order, and during those 2 weeks, Marcus found himself thinking about her far more than he should. He told himself it was nothing, just curiosity, just admiration, just a regular human reaction to a kind woman who kept showing him respect. But inside his heart, he knew the truth. Something about her made him feel seen, something about her voice made him feel calm, and something about the way she listened made him feel valuable in a way he had not felt in a long time. Every day, while working in different coffee shops or parks around Manhattan, Marcus wondered if he would run into her again. He knew it was silly. New York was huge, and the chances of bumping into the same person 3 times were low. But still, he found himself glancing up whenever the door opened or whenever he heard someone speaking with a voice that reminded him of her. One Saturday morning, Marcus made his way to Harlem Youth Center, the place where he volunteered every weekend. Teaching teenagers basic graphic design skills gave him joy that money could not buy. He loved seeing the excitement in their eyes when they learned to create something meaningful on the screen. He also loved giving them hope, guiding them toward careers they did not know they could have. That day, he sat beside Jamal, a 17-year-old who worked hard to build a flyer for his school tutoring program. "Make the message simple," Marcus said gently. "People read fast, so keep it clear." Jamal nodded. "Like this, Mr. Marcus?" "Exactly," Marcus smiled. "You're getting better every week." As Marcus walked around helping the students, he did not notice someone standing quietly at the doorway, watching him with a soft expression on her face. It was Camila. She had come for a meeting with the advisory board of the youth center, a board she sat on privately without telling Marcus. She was surprised to see him there, moving between students with kindness, patience, and dedication. When the class was finished and the students packed up their laptops, Camila finally stepped closer. "Marcus," she said softly, "I had no idea you volunteered here." He turned, surprised but happy to see her. "Camila? You're here too?" "I'm on the advisory committee for the youth programs," she said. "I come here often, just not on weekends. I didn't expect to find you teaching." Marcus rubbed the back of his neck shyly. "It's just something I enjoy. These kids need someone to believe in them. A little guidance can go a long way." Camila looked around at the colorful posters on the wall, the students' designs pinned on boards, the laptops on the tables. "What you're doing here is beautiful," she said. "You're helping them see their own potential. That's rare." He shrugged a little. "I just want them to have chances I never had." "And you're giving them exactly that," she replied. They walked together to the small lounge inside the youth center. Marcus made them both a cup of tea from the dispenser, and they sat at a round table near the window. "Marcus," she said gently, "your heart is special. You care about people in a way many don't." "I just try to do what's right," he replied. "Not everyone does what's right," she said, "even when they know they should." For a moment, they held eye contact, and Marcus felt something powerful but frightening. He looked away quickly, reminding himself that they lived in two very different worlds. To break the silence, he asked, "What about you, Camila? What made you join the board here?" "My family didn't grow up with much," she said. "I learned early that community matters. Helping young people grow matters. I wanted to give back in a real way." Marcus listened closely. "I never would have guessed," he said. "I don't talk about it much," she replied. "People in my field don't care about the past, only about status and success." Marcus nodded slowly. He understood that pressure. As the afternoon passed, they talked about life, dreams, fears, and childhood memories. Marcus found himself opening up to her in ways he had not opened up to anyone in a long time. Camila listened with care, and her calm presence made him feel safe. Before she left, she touched his hand lightly. "I hope you know, Marcus, that you deserve every good thing coming your way," she said softly. Those words settled deep in his heart. Later that night, after eating another cheap dinner and finishing a small design job, Marcus received a phone call that made him sit straight up on his bed. "Hello, is this Marcus Perry?" "Yes," he said. "This is Reyes Creative Group. We would like to schedule a follow-up interview with you." Marcus almost dropped his phone. "You want to interview me?" he said, stunned. "Yes. Miss Reyes was very impressed with your portfolio and asked us to reach out." Miss Reyes, the owner of the company, the woman he helped in the rain. His heart pounded, but he kept calm. "Of course, I'm available," he said. "Any day, any time." The call ended, but Marcus sat frozen, his mind spinning. Camila Reyes. That was her full name. He had heard it before around the city, on billboards, in business news, in conversations. She was one of the most respected female CEOs in New York, and he had helped her in the street without knowing. He had bought her lunch without knowing. He had talked to her for hours without knowing. Everything inside him felt strange. Shock, confusion, gratitude, fear, hope, 2 days later, Marcus stood inside Reyes Tower once again, but this time he was dry, neatly dressed, and prepared. He followed the receptionist to a conference room on the 10th floor. She opened the door and told him to wait. Marcus sat down, adjusting his tie nervously. His heart would not slow down. Then the door opened. Camila walked in. She was wearing a cream-colored suit, holding a folder with his name on it. For a moment, she stood by the door, watching him with soft eyes. "Marcus," she said, her voice gentle. He stood up quickly. Miss Reyes," he said, feeling embarrassed. She smiled. "No, Camila is fine." He swallowed hard. "You're the CEO." "Yes," she said. "I wanted to tell you earlier, but I didn't know how." Marcus sat back slowly, shock heavy on his shoulders. "Why didn't you say anything?" "Because the first time we met, you helped me without knowing who I was," she said. "You didn't see money or power. You saw a woman who needed help. I needed that reminder." She sat across from him, folding her hands. "And the truth is, Marcus, I asked my team to call you because I owe you your interview." "You lost your chance helping me." He shook his head. "I didn't do it for anything in return." "I know," she said softly. "That's why it means so much." She took a deep breath, her eyes full of honesty. "Marcus, there's something else. Over the last few weeks, I've grown to care about you in a way I can't ignore. I can't pretend I don't feel something. I know we come from different worlds. I know people will talk, I know it's risky, but I can't lie to myself." Marcus felt the room grow still. "I care about you too," he said quietly. They both sat in silence, understanding the weight of what was happening. A black man from Harlem, a Latina CEO from Manhattan. Two different worlds, meeting in the middle. Camila leaned forward. "Our lives are about to get complicated, Marcus. People judge what they don't understand. But I want to know, are you willing to try?" Marcus looked into her eyes and felt something real, something deep, something worth fighting for. He nodded slowly. "Yes, I want to try." Minutes later, their hands met across the table, and their fingers intertwined gently. Outside the conference room, the busy world of Manhattan moved fast, filled with noise and pressure. But inside, Marcus Perry and Camila Reyes took their first step towards something neither of them expected. Something powerful, something dangerous, something beautiful. A story that would test their hearts, their courage, and everything they believed. But for now, they sat together, choosing each other in a world that wanted them apart.